Christine, and today we're talking about Mockingjay Part 1. For those of you who read the books, we know we're not going into it expecting a Catching Fire. Catching Fire will always be my favorite just because it is the happiest, the most fun of the 3 books. None of the books are fun. It's not a happy story. But in Catching Fire, we've got taking down the arena and Finnick. It's a thrill ride where we're just like, oh, 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 ah. Then we have Mockingjay, and it's dark, and it's dreary, and it's war. And I think it was done beautifully. I'm one of the minority who, when they announced that the film was going to be in 2 parts, was so happy about it. Everyone was pissed off, and I never understand why people are genuinely pissed off when they split the last film. For us fans, it just means it's going to be longer. There's going to be more content, and what's not to love there? And I've said this so many times, Mockingjay was a book that was rushed. It wasn't fleshed out. Breaking this film into 2 parts is going to flesh out this story beautifully. In the book, we're only seeing from Katniss, who most of the time is stuck in District 13. In the movie, we get to see President Snow, we get to see the districts, we get to see so much more that we needed to see to really feel the scope of what's going on in Mockingjay. And we do in the film, and it's fantastic. I am so excited for Part 2. If I was gonna rate this, I think I would give it a 90% because it's dark. I came out of it like, so emotional. We deal a lot with Katniss's mental instability, and there's the torture that's going on at the Capitol. It's dark. I'll send burr. It's dark in there. President Snow is in the atmosphere. I said, oh, this is really inappropriate. I don't know why I went into Bring It On. It just happens sometimes. I don't know what else to say to you spoilery-free people. It was really, really well done. Go watch the film and then come back and discuss it together. Bye, non-spoilery people. Bye-bye. Go see the movie. So, Mockingjay Part 1, the film. Like I said, I came out of it feeling so down. I mean, that's what they want. That's what they want us to feel. That's what the book makes you feel. It's a sad, depressing book, and they did it all the justice. I love the opening scene with Katniss in the dark, in that closet. She's just talking to herself because she's messed up. And Jennifer Lawrence plays it beautifully. It's so real. You feel her. And soon after that, Katniss is taken to President Coin. And it's different from the book because there we start at District 12. We start with her getting off the hovercraft, I believe. But in the film, she first has this meeting. We see that discussion between Plutarch and Coin. How they have to find a way to manipulate her into seeing that she has to be the Mockingjay. Just knowing that little tidbit, that's why that they're sending her to 12. Not so she could see 12, for her own benefit. So she could see 12 and get riled up and know that she has to fight for their cause. I love the way that was done. Prim had a bigger role in this film. Every time I saw Prim, I started to tear up. Especially the lockdown scene when she went to save Buttercup and Katniss was frantic and running after her, and the countdown, the 10, 9, 8, the doors closing. Prim was like, I couldn't leave him behind. I couldn't live with myself. I left him behind. It was just like, just the lockdown bunker scene was so dark. Over and over again, that thunder, the sound and the rattle of the shot. It was so effective and scary. They're there with them. During that scene, there's this instrumental version of Yellow Flicker Beat, and I absolutely loved it. There wasn't as much Finnick Odair as I was expecting. In the book, I believe there was more of him. There was like a scene with him in his underwear in the elevator. In the book, I feel like we got more scenes of Finnick just breaking. He was falling apart. He was tying his knots and repeating things. We saw the knots. The rope was there. Would I have minded some more Finnick Katniss time? No, I wouldn't have. That would have been nice. But it worked the way it was. My favorite part of seeing Mockingjay visually was our ability to see outside of 13 during the uprisings. I love how they did the Propos. I love in the beginning how Plutarch explained that he likes to call them Propos. Propaganda pieces. I call them Propos. One of my favorite scenes in the film, the only one that really we got any comedic relief in, is when Katniss is filming the first Propos in the studio with the green screen. Action! Citizens of Panem! We need justice! And everyone watching is just like, acting's not your forte. I love that Effie is involved. Effie doesn't come to District 13 in the book, and I thought she was a great addition. There was a lot of times when things were really dark, and Effie would just throw in this little zap of comedic relief. 13 was just bomb, and they're climbing up through the rubble to film Katniss. Effie's like, come on, Katniss, let's practice the line. And she just keeps repeating it. Effie is a fun character, and Elizabeth Banks plays her so perfect, so on point. My other favorite scenes in the movie were the District uprisings. We get Katniss's first promo. We burn, you you burn with us, and it's beautiful. I wish they did not put that in the trailer because it would have been so much stronger just to watch it, just to not know how she said it. I thought it was really interesting how they did the camera crew. I had always pictured two guys running around with huge cameras on their shoulder filming her, but they have these cameras built into their military uniforms. And I loved Cressida. That also provided a smidge of comedic relief, and she was like, hey, get this. And she'd like do this while there's a war going on around her. Just the juxtaposition. I love the shaved head. She looks so badass, it's ridiculous. Then we go to one of the districts. It's all the guys walking into the forest with their axes and stuff, and we know something's going down. They shoot up those trees, and then you hear that one guy scream, we burn, you burn with us, and then the bombs drop, and it's beautiful. It was so, the tears. I'm tearing up just thinking about it. Seeing how directly her Propos affected the public was fantastic, and we never saw that in the books. And then my favorite thing that they did, the hanging tree song. We've all been waiting for this song since we read it in the book. And you want to know how the song sounds too? Because we all said it differently in our head. I love the way it came out. It's kind of got a country twang to it. It feels very Civil Wars to me. You know, the band. But actually, the Lumineers put the song together. That quarry where they sung the song, that was gorgeous, was it not? I was picturing them in the woods, having lunch on a log. Katniss sings the song, and then she's still singing as we see them leave the district. And then we see the rebels, and they start singing the song together, and that was beautiful. That was like my favorite part. This was so emotionally effective to see her sing the song and then they join in with her. Fucking beautiful. Gale in this film, we saw a little bit of friction between him and Katniss's relationship when she was like, when did we become you and Coin? And blah, 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 blah. It kind of set up for the fallout at the end of the series. But other than that, I didn't really feel Gale in the film at all. His presence was very subdued to me. Even though he was present, like we saw him a lot. He didn't have any impact on my viewing experience. Peeta, on the other hand, every time I freaking saw Peeta, the tears started coming. And the third time we saw him, seeing Katniss's reaction as he slowly starts withering away, it's just heartbreaking. We get to see the scene where they rescue Peeta, and it was so Zero Dark 30, and the tension cutting back from that to Finnick talking about how he was prostituted by the Capitol and about the sores in Snow's mouth. It was perfect. Then Katniss, Snow? Are you there? President Snow? Snow? The anxiety. I loved how that was cut together. And then when Snow's creepy ass face finally comes up on the screen, Donald Sutherland, the facial expressions and the eyes bulging. He's so creepy. Are you coming to the tree? Like the Hanging Tree song had a little more of an upbeat feel to it than I expected it to after reading the book. It made it more inspiring that way. It built you up more to do something rebellious, to fight back. It was like, we don't give a shit if you murder us. We're coming anyway. And then we got the scene we were all waiting for. This is where I thought they were gonna cut the film. The Peeta reunion scene. Like we passed by Joanna, her head is shaved, and we passed by Annie and she's like, Finnick, and we're all waiting for Peeta. It's like a horror movie walking into Peeta's hospital room. He doesn't turn around. Usually in a horror film, it would be like a demon child sitting there that you expected to be a human. You know what I'm talking about. And that moment where he like jumps her, he's fucking horrifying. I didn't expect it to be as intense of a scene as it was. I pictured him like slamming her against the wall and picking her up and suffocating her. He's like a crazed munchkin when he was slamming her head against the floor, and Katniss was just like, she didn't know what to have to do, and her eyes were terrifying. It was seriously like a sequence out of a horror film. When Binks comes in and knocks Peeta out and it just goes to... How many of you sucked in a breath and were like, is that the end? End of part one? I wanted it to be the end of part one. We come back up and we have Coin talking, and Katniss is like creepily walking down the hallway. And I did not know where they were going with that. For a good 30 seconds, I was thinking maybe they're bringing that end part with Katniss and the arrow and Coin to now. She couldn't do that. But I just thought it. I don't know. But really, she's just going to, stare at Peeta through the glass. That scene where Katniss wakes up after being strangled was so scary to me too. Her eyes. When she tried to talk, it got me so emotional. It was the continuation of the horror movie scene. She's in a hospital bed, and it's dark, and Peeta's still out there, and he wants to kill her. Fuck. Oh, it just leaves you so unsettled. I'm so excited to see how they portray the Capitol and the booby traps that are down each of the streets. And that fur coat store. I'm gonna spoil the deaths that are coming now, so if you haven't read the book, you should leave now. The scene where Finnick dies, like, I can't wait to see how that is portrayed. I'm sure it'll be a lot better than the death scene in the book. Katniss goes completely batshit by the end of Mockingjay too. She just like sits in a room by herself, like going crazy for a long time, right? And then she shoots coin. We have the prim scene. I mean, I'm excited to see how they do it. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your favorite parts. I'm sure a lot of you have the same ones as me, because that hanging tree part, man, like that hanging tree part, that hanging tree part, man. What percent would you rate it? I gave it an A-, which I think is a great grade. I think Julianne Moore did a great job as Coin. I love Effie's comment about her hair. That was wonderful. I love the whole introduction of Effie in District 13. Oh, are you coming to visit me? Is it visiting hours? Like, she's in a prison and they're like, Effie, this is a standard room. The door works. I love the part where Katniss is having a panic attack and Hamish just comes over and gives her a hug. How cool were their chalkboards that were like all text and computery, and Hamish would just like erase it with his hand? I hope that wasn't important. And then he wrote on it with his finger, but it turned into text. What? That was cool. They've really developed the story into a fantastic film franchise. And it's just so rewarding to see that happen when it doesn't happen for so many of our other favorite books. I'm Christine. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm @xteenmay. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm @xteenmay as well. I also have a Tumblr. If you like this review, I'd love if you click the thumbs up button. Please share your thoughts. I'm Christine. I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye! Are you coming to the tree where I told you to run so we'd both be free? Strange things did happen here, no stranger would it be if we met at midnight in the hanging tree. Hello? I'm filming. The one thing we haven't seen at all referenced in the film, they just kind of dropped the fact that Peeta has parents.